smoking coming up in here.
Sometimes you just gotta get on.
410. Well, you know what's good about this modulation system and all that is that, you don't have to be, it costs a lot of money to put up big towers and big amplifiers and big power and big antennas and all that kind of stuff there, but it doesn't cost a lot to do the audio stuff. So I just do what I can do. It's on the cheap. And this is on the cheap there, Brady.
Yeah, I heard that. Six-pack. Waving a hand, that checkpoint wave 951 will be standing by on the west side.
410. Yeah, I've grown to become accustomed to it, that's for sure. I don't know what I would do without Live Professor. Well, I suppose, you can incorporate all those, Live Professor, Pro Tools, Ableton Live, you name it, whatever. But without something like that, I don't know what I would do, man. I couldn't go back to a stock microphone, with it. Well, the microphone is nothing special either. It's an RE20, but I could never go back to a standard communication quality audio chain to break.
Thank you, sir. You're always sounding top shelf there, Mr. Six-Pack.
Well, I hate to say it, but whenever someone goes down that path, even if they do a bunch of testing and tuning into headphones without the radio, once they put the radio in line and they listen to a receiver, they got to go do that same hunting and searching and trying to figure out what to turn and how much of it to give it and where to do it. And so everybody's got to go through it, if you're going to go down this path. There's no way to come out here without doing that. So don't feel bad if you have to do a little bit of experimentation, by all means, go for it. Well, I can tell something. I can tell by hearing your voice, even through that superstar microphone and through the narrower banded radio. I can hear the nuances in your voice that show you've got some bottom end and some bass around the place in that voice. And then you would sound really, really good on a radio that could pass the bass to break.
Hey, number 4, Chuck.
10-4, yep, absolutely. And they sound really, really good just as they are, but man, you put processed audio going into one of them and have total control.
Oh my God, we're talking about his audio again.
Bandwidth, you can exactly the way you would, choose to put it, make it happen. They work really, really well. And I think that would be a good choice to break. No doubt about that. I really like there's some derail radios out there that just blow my mind. It just so that's the direction I would go. If I didn't do what I did, that's the way I would do it to break. Roger, yeah. This is all the same, pretty much the same thing, except for mine. Like this radio is a 29, so I can't do any high drive kind of stuff with this. All I can do is what it can do, but that's what they make little pre-drivers for. So, you know, I use that little, it's a waste, a lot of people would say it's a waste of an amplifier, but I use this thing down here in tickle mode into a little messenger. But and the messenger can do a lot more than what I'm asking it to do, but it's doing all that I need it to do, you know what I'm saying? So it might be a waste by some people's standards, but at the same time it gets me up into the range I need to be, you know. Well, here's the thing that I always look at regarding that pinching stuff and all that, you know, driving stuff real hard. You know, whatever a box can do, I don't care what kind of box it is, whether it's a small one transistor job or a big 2-tube bass, you know, monstrous thing or anything in between or whatever, you know, something smaller like what I'm running here or whatever. Anything that you look at, whatever it can do, max is always max. There's always a limit, whatever that limit is. And whatever that limit is, if run properly, that limit will be the peak power of the proper carrier. And if that proper carrier has to be, you know, 1/4 at the maximum, preferably not more than that, and in my case, a little bit less than that. But if the carrier is 1/4 of whatever that peak is, you're golden. Everything's great. Now, provided, and you know, we get into the topic of this, the sinusoidal versus just a watt versus a watt. In other words, if you have a sinusoidal waveform and you generate a peak that's 4 times greater than your carrier, then you're golden. You can square wave everything, and that may not be apples and apples, but anyway, if you're using sinusoidal, you know, stuff for measuring your peaks and your power and all that stuff, then it all applies. Anyway, and if you crank it up, the most you can crank it up is whatever the peak is, right? Well, now you got no room for audio, and the most you can crank it up is 4 times. Well, 4 times the power is only 1 S unit. So why try to go ruin your stuff, you know, to gain 1 S unit when you lose all of your talk power? So it's much better to low, saying, if you want bigger, don't push it harder. Just get a bigger box. It's true.